And you can see right here, this is the scar from the car that almost killed me. So yes, in today's video, I want to tell a story, a true story. I know some of the videos on my profile are for entertainment and they're humorous, but this one is a little more serious. 10 years ago today, in April of 2014, I was almost killed by a Mustang. And I know it's funny to hear. I know it wasn't driving. It was actually a friend of mine's car. I lived in Michigan at the time. And he didn't have a lot of money to pay for repairs, so I offered to help him with it because, you know, I went to school for cars and I had worked on them for many years. So one day on a Saturday, I offered to go work on it for him. It was a 98 Mustang GT convertible that was red with a black top. I remember it vividly. So the issue was he was having some issues with his transmission, you know, not going into gear, not shifting, you know, just shifting issues with the transmission. And I was familiar with you know, the 4R70W transmissions with the 4.6s, the 3.8s, the 5.4s, even the older EFI 502 roller motors. So I went to help him out one day. And I say this because it was pretty much my own negligence and me being overconfident, and which nearly killed me, which nearly cost me my life, which is part of the reason I'm telling this story, because sometimes we can be negligent and a little overconfident, and when we make a mistake, sometimes we pay the price. And I'm actually very lucky to be here today, because yeah, I could not be here today. So to carry on with the story, we had gotten the Mustang up on some ramps, probably mistake number one. But he lived in an apartment complex. He didn't have access to stuff. He didn't have a jack. He didn't have jack stands. So he says, well, I got a pair of ramps that I can borrow for the day so we can get it up in the air. So I thought, okay. So I get over there and we got it up on the ramps. When we pull it forward up onto the ramps, so obviously the front end's up high and the back tires are on the ground. And this is probably the biggest mistake, which almost cost me my life. I didn't check the e-brake. I assumed the e-brake was holding, and I assumed the e-brake worked. But this is where I was negligent and I was overconfident. I say, this would never happen to me. I've done this 100 times, and I'm just gonna crawl under there and check some things, and then we'll go from there. And I had crawled under the driver's side between the front driver's side tire and the back tire. So I'm laying under it. So, you know, basically if the car rolled off the ramps, I'm gonna be toast. And it's a little hard to talk about. I still have I'm a big old tough guy when I talk about this. I remember how close I was to not being here, and it hits you because it's literally just a minute. Yeah, I need a minute. Yeah, it was just a fraction of seconds can make a difference. So when I crawl under there, I'm on my back, obviously, and I reach up, and I didn't even get to do anything. I literally put my hand on the range selector of the transmission, and as soon as I touched it, that's all it took was a touch. And I heard and I felt that car come out of gear, and it begins to roll off the ramps. All I did was touch it. I didn't even get to do anything. I put my hand on it, and I heard and I felt that car pop out of gear and start rolling off the ramps. Now, mind you, the e-brake is pulled all the way up. This was the negligent part that almost killed me. E-brake didn't hold, cars rolling off the ramps. I never thought I could move that fast. I don't even know how fast I was moving, but apparently I was not moving fast enough, because I got almost all the way out. And as I'm passing by the tire on my back like this, the tire comes down and hits me here. And all of a sudden I'm pinned for a second, I can't move. So I've got the ground and the ramp and the tire here. Now I don't want to make this a godly or religious post, but nonetheless, the year before I had gotten saved, but nonetheless, There's no other explanation for me to be here other than that. So I have to call it what it is. So at that point, when I felt the tire basically pinned my head for a second, I knew I wasn't getting out. I gave up. I said, this is it. I said, here I come, God. Because I thought the car was going to come off. It was going to crush my head and I was going to be no more. So I literally just stopped moving. I'm done. This is only a matter of seconds. And the minute that I said this to myself in my head, it's going to get a little spiritual, but nonetheless, this is exactly what happened. And like I said, there's no other explanation than other than what it is. There's obviously something bigger than me. So I said, God, here I come. I said, this is it, Lord. This car is going to crush me and I'm going to be dead. Felt a tap on my head. Now, mind you, my head's back on the ground like this. The tire's here and the ramp's back here and I'm on the ground. This is all open. I feel a tap on my head. And the spooky thing is my whole body from head to toe shifted on the ground like 6 inches like I was a centipede. No lie. And I get free of the car and the car rolls past me. But the car didn't kill me, but nonetheless, I got a pretty bad scar here. I had a pretty good gaping wound in the side of my head. You can probably still see the scar here. But I was losing a lot of blood. I could have bled to death. So they called an ambulance. You know, they came in. I'm in the parking lot laying there bleeding. I don't know, they said I was about to pass out or something, so they called a helicopter and they life flighted me from there down to Toledo Medical Center. And I was basically there for a few hours, and I hate to kind of throw them under the bus, but the truth is once they learned that I didn't have any insurance at the time, they basically patched me up best they could, wrapped me up and sent me home, said don't come back. But nonetheless, that was a very close call, and it all could have been avoided had I double checked and had I not trusted what I thought was going to do its job. And I've now got 20 plus years in the automotive industry, and that taught me something. It taught me something that I'll never forget. It taught me that it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. It doesn't matter what it is. You should always be careful when it comes to your health, your well-being, and your life. So take care, guys. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one. I want to share one more thing with you. I mainly just want to bring some awareness and some acknowledgement, because I know we all love cars. And sometimes the things we love can be the death of us if we're not careful. Just to share another little story with you. Around 2021, a 34-year-old Ohio man his car fell. His car fell off the jacks, ramps, and it trapped him. And tragically, it killed him. And that's a tragic story. And when you've had something traumatic like this happen and you see similar stories, it makes you realize how close it could have came. It could have been a lot worse. It makes you appreciate things, and it makes you 10 times more careful than you were before, especially when you have little ones in a family. So just keep in mind, guys, you're working on something, be careful. When it comes to your life, you can never take too many precautions. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.